Okay, so we're going to be talking about the literary context of Chaucer and Webster. So The Merchant's Tale was written between 1387 and 1400 by Geoffrey Chaucer. It was a medieval fableau. This was very popular in France, and it's based and centred around crude jokes. It is a comic tale categorised by sexual and scatological obscenity.
This typically refers to the treatment of taboo or obscene matters expressed in literature.
So it's a contemporary piece of anti-feminist literature, and it also includes a set of contrary attitudes to that of the church and nobility.
The Merchant's Tale is written in the Canterbury Tales. The Canterbury Tales tell the story of a group of 31 pilgrims who met whilst travelling. To pass the time on their journey, they decided to tell each other stories, and this collection of stories are held together by a framing device. In this way, these two narratives operate at the same time within the work simultaneously. In the links between the tales, the pilgrims argue and converse in a way that brings the characters to life.
This frame narrative is usually a method for other tales to be mentioned. However, there isn't usually a decisive plot. So here are some of the literary influences of The Merchant's Tale. So there is the Divine Comedy, which was written in 1320 by Dante Alighieri, and it's a poem about the spiritual journey of a man through life. He discovers the nature of sin and its consequences.
The Decameron, written by Giovanni Boccaccio, is structured as a fame story, similarly to The Merchant's Tale. It contains 100 stories, and these tell a multitude of romantic tales, ranging from tragic to erotic. They also include witty and practical jokes.
The Merchant's Tale was also influenced by the Romance of the Rose, which focuses on love, women, and female sexuality.
Here are some brief useful terms that could be used within these texts as descriptions. Some of them are written, which is a derogatory referral to an old man. No one knows why these tales were written, but it does provide a cross-section of the multitude of societal demographics, making it a piece enjoyed by all in society.
So moving on to The Duchess of Malphite, which was written between 1612 and 1613 by John Webster. It's a revenge tragedy from the Jacobean era in which the protagonist seeks revenge. It's a play loosely based on historical events.
These are some literary context influences on The Duchess of Malphite. The Revenge's Tragedy, written by George Eld, is like The Duchess of Malphite in the sense that they are both tragedies. Both plays are embodied with a variety of different references to death, and they ironically focus on the corpses of women, unconventional to the time period, and are frustrated by social statuses and structures. The next is also a tragedy written by George Ford called "'Tis Pity She's a Whore." This tragedy focuses on an ancestral relationship between siblings where she falls pregnant with her brother's child. Ultimately, this play draws on eventual downfalls of such unconventional and sinful women, and therefore themes like desire, transgression, female sexuality, and lust.
So looking at comparisons between the two texts, both the Duchess and May deceive the male authority figures, whilst the males have little control in their inclusion of the deception, and so are emasculated. They both explore the theme of forbidden love and its attractions and complications.
In The Duchess of Malphite, the characters are punished for their duplicity when breaking societal boundaries. However, in The Merchant's Tale, the characters are successful in their deception and escape consequences. This may be a reflection of the periods in which they were written.
And that concludes our PowerPoint on the literary context of Chaucer and Webster.